I always find it's better that the guests introduce themselves, better that I introduce, because if not, it'll be so boring. Like I'm reading from like a list of credentials.
What's on the thing?
I only have the questions that we give.
Okay.
Yeah. There's his I'm like scribbling.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey everyone, before we begin this next episode of the Hello Mentor podcast, I just want to say, if you're job searching or hiring, check out hiredly.com. We are not just another job platform. We make it easier to find the jobs that people actually want, and we help companies stand out to hire the right talent. So there's a lot of smart tech and there's a lot of human touch. That's Hiredly. So you can head to hiredly.com and give it a go. Hi everyone, it's another episode of the Hello Mentor podcast, and I have Bryan Low with me today. Hi Bryan.
Hello, Derek.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, I'm very excited to have this conversation. Obviously, I think you started like becoming really popular online like at least last 3 years. So I'd love to hear your story. Maybe you can introduce
100%
yourself. Yeah.
Which camera do I look at?
Oh, you can look at me and, just look at me, I guess. Yeah.
Hey guys. My name is Bryan. Thanks for having me here. I'm content entrepreneur. I run a creative agency as well. EKL.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, so you do content and you have an agency at the same time. Oh, nice. And I mean, before everything kind of happened, like how did it kind of start in the beginning?
That was really once upon a time kind of thing. To me, it was 3 years ago, but it felt very long. Because I think along the way, there's a lot of lessons being compiled, right? But if I'm allowed to, go back to the very beginning point of what happened that triggered the spirit of wanting to become an entrepreneur, I guess, was back in uni time. A bit of backstory, I came from this place called Kuala Kangsar, Perak. It's basically a small town. And my dad is a lorry driver. My mom's a teacher, a government teacher. So then I got sent to KL for my university in Xiamen University, Malaysia. So back in the uni, I was the second batch of the student of the uni. I was in foundation, I remember. And then, basically doing what a student should. Assignments, sports and all, right? Then I got scammed by a money game. And the money wasn't mine. Yeah, to borrow some money from my friend because I was desperate for money when I was 18 years old. Wow. So that time I lost, some money, financial loss. And then I was like, God, you have to return the money to your friend, bro. So I was thinking, oh my God, what should I do? Then I go and ask around. I remember I asked around the canteen. I asked the vendors in the canteen. I was like, hey, how much do you guys pay for a part-time? Then they're like $7. Oh shit. How many thousands of hours do I need to work in order to pay back that? I'm like, no, it doesn't make sense. So I started learning a lot online. The first thing that I searched on Google was how to make money from home online. And because of that search, right, then suddenly you got a lot of ads targeting you because you are interested in that thing. So I joined a course online with my PTPKN money, and I basically learned this thing called dropshipping. That was the first ever business course that I bought, that I invested in myself, and I didn't even know that was called dropshipping because the guru didn't reveal to us. So then I just learned a lot of these things, failed a lot of different stores and stuff, learn how the business really work, learn how to run ads, learn how to build a store, learn how to deliver products and stuff. Kind of have the exposure of how business worked back then. And that was the backstory of how this entrepreneurial spirit was being triggered.
Oh, okay, right. So in the spirit of also trying to sort of repay my friend and all that.
That is the main goal, because I do not want my reputation to be ruined by that.
And you have to figure out how to make money quick enough to repay that.
Correct.
Right. Oh, I see. So you're creatively looking for different ways and all that.
Desperately,
right.
Yeah.
Right. And what was the moment it was like, you started going down this path of like creating content?
Content was the first time that I created content was at roughly the same time as when I was in uni. I aspired to be a YouTuber. So then the first video that I recorded, that I posted on my YouTube channel was about my university. Because I was a second batch student in the uni. So basically that uni wasn't very popular and a lot of people don't know about that uni. So I just want to be the bridge and be the medium of, information to share with some of the students that they're looking for a uni. So I was just talking about the uni, this and that. Few years, I think 2 years down the line, I got like 4,000 subscribers. And I was like, okay, cool. So because of that incident, I started my social media marketing agency as well back in 2019 because I realized that business is not something that I want to do last time. Too many things to take care of. I just want to be a part of something that really can move the needle forward. So then I choose, it's either sales or marketing, and knowing myself enough, I am an introvert, so I just chose marketing. And what's the best marketing that you can learn in this day and time? It's going to be digital marketing. And everybody was talking about Facebook marketing funnels and everything, right? So that was what I learned. And I got my first client from the US, second client from the Mexico.
Oh, wow.
I was basically working in a 12-hour different time zone. When my roommate was sleeping, I was working.
Okay.
And I couldn't speak a single line of English when I was in uni. So then, in order for me to communicate with my client, I got to be able to at least understand English and be able to articulate my thoughts to them. So then that's when I learned English and be able to really speak. Because I came from a very Chinese every day we speak Chinese and Malay.
Oh, so you mainly learn how to speak English in university?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, you speak it very well now.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. It came from a lot of experiences, like one humiliation in the class where everybody called me Chinape. And I was like, yeah, man, you want to win, this is what you gotta do. So along the way, just learn all these things without me knowing. Then when I really do content creation was back in 2022 when I broke my PCL. So I broke my PCL and I was forced out of my, basically I just wanted to rest, and then I left the company that I used to work in and I went back to my hometown. And then I was like, is God trying to tell me something? Because I've been wanting to start short form content for 2 years and I didn't have the gut because I was scared to be judged. When I put myself out there, right? The fear of being judged is the number one fear. It's even more than death. That's based on fear psychology. So I think it's very normal. And I felt that. So for 2 years, I wanted to do content. I didn't. And then when this happened, I'm like, how many times in my life that I had a chance to break my PCL and put my leg in a cast for a month plus? I'm like, let's try to document this journey of recovery and, just test water, try to see. Yeah, that was how it happened.
Wow. Right. And you're right. I think a lot of people, creating content in itself is not to say too difficult. Just people are half-heartedly doing it sometimes. I find even those that want to try it, I can see that they're trying it, but they're not going all in, kind of, because they don't want to feel judged and all that.
It's very common. It's just a human thing, and I can understand that.
Right. Right. But you decided you're just gonna. So you documented your journey of recovering from your injury.
Correct.
And how did that evolve?
The first thing that the first thing I remember I wanted to do was document the journey of recovery. That's it. I just want to show people how I recover, how I shower, right? When you have a cast from here until your here, and then get straight all the way. How do I shower? I gotta use something to wrap it so it doesn't get wet during the shower.
Right.
A lot of these things are a lot of these tiny things that happen in my life. I just want to document it. And then I remember a friend of mine told me that you had a story. Why didn't you tell about that story of you making 6 figures in your bedroom? So it was an e-commerce thing that I did during MCO. I almost forgot that story. And then he just brought it to me. And I was like, yeah, I did something like that, right? I started the business with 400 ringgit, selling watches, and then turned into 100k in 5 months. in revenue with a 30-something% profit. And I was like, yeah, I can show this thing and I can share about how I did it just to the public, not wanting to sell anything, just want to share with young people who want to start a business. Perhaps this might help. So I just shared that, and then it went viral. And the next day when I woke up in the morning, I received a message from my mom. My mom was telling me, what happened? So she saw me on different press.
Oh.
Yeah, on Sinchu, on rental, and all, sales.com and all. Then my mom was like, how much did you pay? I'm like, no, man, I don't have that money to pay. I just, that happened. I also don't know what happened. So because of that, I got invitation from different places. And that was the first boom that I didn't expect to happen. I was like, I didn't know how to handle it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. This was on YouTube, isn't it?
This was on TikTok.
On TikTok, I saw that.
TikTok and Instagram.
Right.
Yeah. Because the content just evolved with multiple things happening at the same time, documenting, sharing the story, getting noticed, getting, a lot of hate speech on the internet and stuff, getting more attention and stuff, interviews and stuff. That just happened and right. And fast forward to today.
Right. And was it back to one goal is obviously you want to make, you want to monetize it and all that, but it's not easy to monetize content, right? I suppose.
I didn't have the thought when I first started.
Right. Right. And then is that how it runs alongside your creative agency? Or is that completely different?
Completely different.
Completely different. Right.
Because when you run a creative agency, clients put money on the line.
Right.
So what do they expect? They expect ROI. Right. So with that expectation, things have to be completely opposite. The thinking has to be completely opposite, where you have to think with the end in mind. You have to start with the end in mind to understand what the end goal is, and then you backtrack the whole thing. Then you just kind of reverse engineer the whole thing. And then you know what you got to do in the step number 1 in order for you to have a higher chance to reach that goal.
Right. And also then my understanding is you had a challenge that you did publicly that also went viral. And,
also roughly the same time.
Oh, is it all happened at the same time? Wow. And everyone, as in like, it was a high risk thing, right? Because you may or may not succeed. And what made you kind of do that? And
I love challenge, I think. And I just want to do something that I just can't sit at home and rest and stuff. So I was having this cast and I was like, let's just do something. But there's very limited resources, the market is not big in Kuala Kangsar, a small town, right? How many people can that?
Maybe you could tell us more. I'm not doing a good job describing the challenge, so maybe you could tell us more about the challenge. Was it? Yeah.
So it was a pasar malam challenge where I just wanted to try to make money selling offline because I already made some money online. I had the experience, right? I want to try offline and challenge the introvert self. When you're in pasar malam, you gotta talk to people. You gotta shout like, buy this, come over, promo and stuff. And it really scared the F out of me at that time. So I knew that I couldn't do it myself. I found a partner, a business partner to do it together with me for a pasar malam challenge. And he was a very good friend of mine that we knew each other since 6 years old from kindergarten. And basically he also do pasar malam by himself. So then I'm like, why don't we do it together and I document this whole journey. Don't know what we want to do. No thought of monetization. Just try it out. Right. This is because we are, quite bored and we want to challenge something. Yeah, just try.
Right.
Then that's when I started a lot of things, researching about the market. Same things as online, but then you do it offline, right? Market research. So we cannot do online research, right? So we go to the place. Yeah. Sit on a motorbike with a cast on. Went to places. This Monday pasar malam, the Chinese one. Let's see what people are selling, what they're paying money, which store got more people. Then we went to another arena where there's more Malay hawkers there. Then we're going to see, okay, good. We went to another kampong, like 20 minutes, 25 minutes away from the town. We went to see, these places, people had to come to town. So all these people, all these vendors, hawkers, they brought the resources or all the the things, the goods they want to sell to the kampong to sell. Okay, now I know already. Easier to get, this one harder to get, so this one higher price, probably. So I kind of just understand the whole market, and then we started selling.
Right. And what did you sell?
We sell bags.
You sold bags?
Yeah, we sold handbags that we sourced from Taobao.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
right,
it was very cheap.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
like 10 ringgit per bag.
Right.
We sold, I think, 30 bucks each.
Okay. Right. And then so you sort of try to figure out which is the best place to sell it.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. So some places you can sell more. Some places you can sell, a few. Then along the way, there's a lot of different lessons. If you pay attention to what you're doing, you can learn a lot. You can learn a lot more than just a very direct lesson. For instance, you learn how to talk to people, and not just that, you learn what pitch works for who.
Right.
So when I sell to younger women, I always take out a free gift, a lipstick. That also cost me a few bucks that I got from Taobao. So I say, if you buy this now, I give you this for free. And there's 5 colors you can choose. Okay, it works for them. If a man pass by and I'm like, do you love your wife? Yeah. Normal men buy 1 bag, you should buy 2. And they bought 2.
I love it.
Yeah. So, different people, different styles. Some nights, we eat eggs, sekai dan. We never saw anything. Some days we did good, but along the way, love lessons compiled.
Oh, so there were days where you got nothing, you just sat there.
A lot of days. And the weather, you go pasar malam, you gotta check the weather also.
Right.
Yeah. Then pasar malam starts, let's say 5-6 p.m. You gotta be there at 3 to set up.
Right. Yeah. And what time does it finish usually?
9.
I see. So like you sit there 6 hours. And
But the good thing is you can grab your dinner over there lah.
I see. Right. So you're there 6 hours and sometimes you get nothing out of it.
Correct.
Some days.
Correct. Really, for real. And you gotta pay for the rental of the place. So basically you lose money plus petrol. So if you don't make sale, you actually lose money on that day. And there's a lot of days like that.
Has this experience sort of, I don't know whether the word is changed the way you see people sell pasar malam, or like that? How do you from this experience? What do you think of them now who doing it day in day out every day?
It's really hard. It is really, really hard, and I have to pay mad respect to the people for 2 things. Number one is, a lot of families, they actually, because of pasar malam or that small little store, they raise a lot of children in the family, the parents, right? With the whole life they work there, and then they raise a lot of children. Mad respect, number one. Number 2 is I got a chance to interact with a lot of different locals, and to my surprise, they were very, very helpful. Way more helpful than majority of people that I met in KL. For real. And that kind of broke the perception of me on people, to be honest. Right? I went there and I'm like, oh shit, no place. Then the uncle will come, hey, you guys new? Yeah. Here got one place. This person confirm no come today. I call him already. I'm like, because he doesn't need to help me.
Right.
But he did. And then done already, I'm like, thank you. What can I do? He's like, sai lah, just do lah. Just like that. Right? Or I remember there was one night, in front of me, there was a store selling bundle. So bundle in Malay means second-hand shirts, pants and all, right? Bundle. So they were doing good. And that night we sekai dan. the night we didn't open any sales. So I went to the kaka and I was like, Kak, how? Like, how do you, it's okay, sekai dan already, never mind. But how do you fine tune your own your mindset to be ready for the next one to come? Because if you don't work on that, you don't reflect, the next one will come regardless, and you have to bring over this trauma or this memory of failure of that night to tackle the new day, and it's very unfair to the new day. So I asked the kaka is like, no, it's great. I'm like, macam mana? makan telur. Then the kakak say, oh, tambah ketchup. Oh. So I'm like, wow, suddenly it eased me out, and I'm like, oh, these people are so nice that they're like, it's okay, there's days where, it's good. There's some days where you don't open, and suddenly one person come, and then come another 10%. So it's all recipe from God. That's the thing that she taught me. So I realized there's a lot of lessons that you can learn anywhere in your life, if you just pay attention.
That's so amazing. Wow.
They are so amazing. I learned a lot from people.
Right. And I wonder it's also because this was in Kuala Kangsar.
Yeah.
Right.
Small place.
Small face, right? I wonder if the KL pasar malams are the same.
Don't know.
Would you consider trying it again?
No. Maybe yes. When I have more capacity.
Right.
Not now.
Right. And what are you busy doing now? Now?
I'm running a creative agency. That said, I have to serve clients with the team, building their personal brand, or helping them with conversion.
Right.
It's basically a marketing agency, but we specialize in content a lot because of my background.
Right.
So that's kind of like the USP of the thing. But when you run a marketing agency, it's good that you have end-to-end service. So then we have a lot of different services as well. But our king trump card is the content, the personal branding.
Right.
Correct. Creatives.
Right. And obviously you've done the work yourself, right? So you have credibility over here. You know what it takes to build like a business using content.
Correct.
Right. And and so the creative agency is your main thing right now. That's the one that takes up most of your time.
There's a lot of things that I have to do. So there's a lot of different hats that I need to change.
I see.
Okay. At work, I'm going to put on the creative hats. Sometimes I'm going to take on the creative and then put on the PR. That's you deal with clients, networking and stuff. Sometimes you got to take it off, put on the leader hat to train a team. The manager hat, the leader hat to train a team, to guide the team. Yeah. And then put on the mentee hat when you're with your mentor.
I see.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Day out, running the operation, making sure to optimize the results. Upskilling, very important step in the team as well. They're all upskilling, every day learning new thing. At least one thing every single day that they have to learn. This is what I set for the team. So if you join my team, that's the thing that you have to accept.
Love it. How many followers do you personally have on social media?
I lost track, but I believe it's like 1.4 combined.
1.4 million
combined, yeah.
It's huge.
1.4 million combined.
Right. And so I guess my follow-up question to that is, 1.4 million is a huge number, right, by any standard. And of course, your main business is the creative agency, right? A lot of people might think that having such a huge amount of followers, that you're kind of popular and famous, means in by itself there's a way you can monetize that directly, but it doesn't sound like it's that direct. Just by being popular on social media, it does not necessarily mean that it can become an income stream. Is that right? I'm just trying to imagine, because obviously online, I can see a lot of people with like hundreds of thousands of followers, and you would think that financially that, there must be a way how they're generating income from all these followers.
There's a misconception when it comes to the correlation between followers and influence. So people think having more followers meaning you have more influence. Actually, after I put myself into this industry and studied different profiles and different personal brands, I realized that's not the case. There could be people that have no social media accounts, but you know them and you remember them. So influence, impact, boils down to this one word called reputation. And reputation is personal brand. And personal brand is how people talk about you behind your back or when you're not in the room. That is the personal brand. It's not the followers. You can have a lot of followers and you want to sell your t-shirt, you can't even sell the t-shirt. Right? So that's the case. And if I want to go deeper, there's a lot of different factors, right? When it comes to this, the authenticity and all. But this is more technical. But bigger picture, technically, when you have more followers, you will not make money. At least you have friend deals coming in.
Right.
But you want to make a lot of money, you got to be able to impact more lives. And there's a fine line between entertainment and authority.
Right. No, that's a very bad part. I have read, I can't remember, years ago that, for example, there were some influencers with many followers and they wanted to sell some stuff, but didn't necessarily sell or something. And then it kind of comes down to what you said just now, does it actually influence people to buy more? So that's the main question, right? And you said, of course, there are many, many factors to consider. Like, what do you think is like the number one most important thing? Like, what would create an actual influence rather than just people following you, but not actually following what you do, if that makes sense, right? But they just they like watching you online, but they may not necessarily follow what you are saying, if that makes sense.
If the action of following, I can say joining a movement, right? So if you want more people to join your movement, and you have once you understand how committed people can be when they join a movement, depends on how much their skin in the game. So what do I mean by skin in the game? You have to commit something. You have to lose something in order for you to be committed into something. And the most direct one is money. You put in money, you will commit. So with that logic, the next thing that we need to figure out is how do we get money from people so that they are committed to a result. The money part, chase, trust, and authority. But majority entertainment or entertainer do not have the direct correlation to this. So what do I mean by that, right? When it comes to creators, there's essentially two types of creators. This is based on a study here, based on my own study as well. So there's this end, entertain, and this end is what I call risk. So the risk of being wrong, if the risk of being wrong is higher, you will have more people following you and trusting you and hence paying money to get your advice. That's the thing, right? So entertainment, you just say, the goal of entertainment is, the goal of a piece of content in entertainment is for them to consume. Done. But the piece of content, when you want people to take certain action, the piece of content is for them to take action. Right. So when you study your own chart, right, the retention rate doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if the retention rate just like sink like that the first few seconds and then just go flat. And people buy. Because that's a goal, right? So if you want that to happen, the real influence is you got to be in a higher risk. Right. Higher risk means that sometimes it's more related to money and stuff.
Right.
So you can have a person talking about theory about money, and another person having visible social proof of having done something. Naturally, if you want to get advice from about that certain topic, right, you're gonna go to this person. Right. That's called higher risk. Because the risk of him being wrong is lower, and the risk that he need to take when it comes to reputation of being wrong is higher. Right. So when you have more to lose when it comes to reputation, and in the long term gain, right, people will follow them and actually talk to follow them and get advice from them. If they want to make certain decision that take would commit that. But entertainment, the content is to be consumed. Done. So you want the retention rate to be high because you want people to consume that.
Right.
So this is totally different goal.
Interesting. Right. And one is, in some sense, if it's meant for consumption, it's also safer, right?
And lower barrier.
Which
means a lot of people can just come in anytime they want.
I see. Interesting. Yeah. And I'm also very curious because obviously you mentioned earlier that you've tried selling watches, you've obviously sell handbags, now you run a creative agency. I don't know what other businesses you've been involved before. I'm mostly curious about why. I think partially maybe you know the answer because obviously you've done content before, but the creative agency is essentially a services business, right? And then when you're selling products, it's a very different kind of business. Why not continue down that path of trying to sell more products? Because you obviously have a lot of experience there. It scales better in some sense. Whereas services business, you're always required, right? And it's always about, you need a lot of people. If you want, if you want the business to grow, then your business is essentially people, right? So you hire more people, it becomes more complex. Whereas a product business is different when you're trying to grow it. Yeah. I mean, as someone who's kind of done both, like maybe, what do you think?
It has to go back to a lot of self-reflection. So I love to watch a drama called Three Kingdom. You like history?
I know this I kind of know the story, but I don't know it in detail. Maybe you can tell us the story. Yeah.
So in Three Kingdom, there's 3 different lords that people follow, and they all have the same goal, to unite China. Right. So then you have one, the villain, so-called, in people's eyes. But in history, there's no right or wrong. It's just whether it's effective in achieving a goal. So there was this guy called Cao Cao. And under Cao Cao, you have other people as well, all the strategies and stuff, generals. And you have another one called Liu Bei. Lao Bei. And Lao Bei, you know, there's 3 brothers, Lao Guanzhao, Lao Bei, Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, 3 brothers. They cannot be born on the same day, but they swear to die on the same day, or that kind of brotherhood. Right. And then they got a strategist called Zhuge Liang. And another one is Dong Wu. It's basically a Sun Quan and all. So 3 parties. When I watch the drama, you know, I watch it 3 times. And the first time I watch it, I'm just, okay, I just know this story. I just want to get to know the story. The second time I watch it, I'm like, oh my God, there's so many politics. There's so much politics inside this and that. Wow. You're gonna, you know, sometimes you throw a stone to attract jade. In Chinese, it's Pao Jun and Yo. A lot of these things happen. So I learned a lot of this. The second time, I learned all of these, not all of this, but I try my best to learn as much as I can about politics, about how people think, how you influence someone to make a decision, how you convince all your army to go die. I just go, die. Like, how do you motivate people? How do you plan and strategize the whole thing so your army doesn't get vanished by the enemy? So then I understand there's 2 things. There's strategy and execution. Right? You need a strategy. You need a strategist to have better strategy. And you need a good executor to execute a strategy so that you can get something done. Right? And the end goal is to get something done. So I'm a very big fan of this guy, Zhuge Liang. So when I saw him, I'm like, oh my God, so cool. So sometimes when you're naturally, attached to a character of a show, then you kind of know who, you kind of know what you like to do in life. Yeah. And why do I tell you the story is because, strategies like to do this, we like to think, we like to plan, and then we're going to execute and help the Lord win. So Zhuge Liang never wanted to replace Lao Bei to be the emperor ever. He just wanted to help Lao Bei's son to be, to just continue being the emperor. Right. So he's like the strategist. Then at the late age of his life, he's the Xingqiang, basically the PM of the country. Yeah. So he's the PM of the country, to help that lord win on a bishop. So when I'm attached there, I was talking to my partner as well, my current business partner. Then we were like, why don't we do something about it and help other businesses grow? Because I learned this from a mentor of mine. In order for you to make $1 billion, help 1 billion people. So what's the most direct way to help people? You help people who impact more people, which are the businesses. Right. Because entrepreneurs are, one of the greatest people in the world. Is they actually move the economy forward. They actually move the revolution and all. So what if we help them with what we know? Right. So there was and profit. So it's always be able to serve people unselfishly with everything I have and profit.
Right. Yeah, that's big. I love it. And if I was to use my own words, basically when you describe the strategist, the strategist is essentially more like the creative person, right? The person that is able to find different paths, right? And so is that because you feel you're naturally stronger in this area? Is that why you're drawn to it a little bit more?
I just feel that when I actually don't know how to answer that. But all I know is when I'm doing this, I feel like I don't have to force myself to do it. I just naturally, I like to do it. I like to research. I like to see what other people are doing. I like to understand histories, and I understand that history repeats itself. And there's a lot of things that people already done. I might not have the answer. I just go and get the answer, find the answer wherever I can. And I like the process of this.
Right. I'm not sure if I misheard you just now, but did you mention you consider yourself an introvert? I haven't. You are. I see. You are
super introvert.
You are super. I see.
I can choose that.
How does someone who is like super introverted like be on camera so much? How do you switch hats?
Oh, that's actually easier. Talking to a person that's harder for introverts. I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong, introverts. Yeah. So talking to a camera, because camera doesn't react like, they don't respond. Whatever I say is right. There's no judgment. There's a full capturing, and yeah. And another thing that I like to do is I like to speak on stage. Same thing. When I talk, you cannot talk there.
No, it's an interesting right.
So actually, introvert, I think, personal opinion, introverts can learn public speaking faster. If they just, just have the willingness to open themselves and actually wanting to learn, I think they can learn it faster. They can do it better, I think. No bias, but I really don't.
No, I mean, I consider myself an introvert. I mean, back since you mentioned public speaking, I remember I was very young. During college, this was clearly a long time ago. But I actually froze on stage. I couldn't speak because I got very nervous. And then after that, for like 10 years, I didn't speak publicly because like the trauma, right? And after that, there's once during where I was asked to do it. And I kind of winged it. And since then, I've spoken publicly a lot. But now that you described it, I think I know what you mean, because when you are trying to speak publicly, when you're very introverted, you tend to focus on technique. You do look at their response, but they're not actually talking back at you. So you have a lot of time to focus on yourself. And even though you are actually talking, but it's an environment where you're still very introspective, Yeah. So therefore, if you're an introverted person, it still works very well, rather than in an actual conversation, where it's very easy for when they are very extroverted people, they tend to overpower you because it becomes very 2-3 way, right? Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, that makes sense now. How come I'm more comfortable sometimes speaking publicly than even in a group setting, which a lot of people find very unusual because they think, well, you're introverted. Why are you?
Correct.
Right.
Correct. Yeah. So that's the thing. I always tell people. Then they're like, "Oh, I see." I'm like, "Yeah."
Really? Right. And you do a lot of public speaking too. Is that what you're saying?
I want to do more.
You want to do more? Right. And what do you enjoy about public speaking?
At first, I enjoy being under the spotlight. Now I enjoy being able to influence someone's behavior to improve. Because in order for you to improve, you got to change some behavior. But in order for you to change some behavior, you have to be influenced by a new thing coming in. And sometimes the person on stage has that great power on the hand to be able to do that, to influence something, insert a new message, a new mindset, a new way of thinking, and then be able to change someone's behavior, be able to influence someone to change their own behavior. And with the change behavior, something better happen. So this is what I enjoy as well. Also learn a lot of technique from a lot of different good speakers. It's not one being trailing,
right. Okay.
She told me one thing that I found very interesting that I didn't think about. Last time I spoke on a stage for me. I'm like, yeah, I'm listen to me. But then she was like, when you are on stage, you are speaking. Who are you speaking for? I'm like, for the audience. Okay. Then the focus should be on the audience. It shouldn't be on you. So when you focus on an audience, the delivery becomes natural. So instead of wanting to take out from your own self to share with the crowd, right? You actually just want to give to the crowd. So the thing come out very naturally and you just give it to the crowd.
Right.
So then the a little change of the mindset actually helped a lot.
Right. How did you learn this from her? Like, did you, as in, like, is she like a mentor to you? And
I would love to self-claim her as one of my mentors. Hopefully he doesn't shame her.
right.
I hope I did a good enough job. I didn't attend her class, but we had a lot of private conversations. And sometimes a line from someone so experienced is so much more powerful than 10 books you read. So in order for that line to happen, all you gotta do is just to be willing to sit down and talk to someone more experienced than you and ask. Just be willing to ask some dumb questions and eventually you're gonna find answers. So that's what I did. Kudos to her for willing to share a lot of different things with me without her even.
Yeah, we can stay on this public speaking thing slightly longer because especially in the Asian context, right? I think people, similar to content creation, all that, I think people have a natural tendency to be a bit more shy, and even sometimes in higher ed when asked, hey, can you go present this or speak publicly about this? I don't think it's naturally an exciting thing for many people. It's kind of scary putting yourself out there. Again, I'm not sure whether the Asian culture and context thing kind of makes it worse. I mean, again, I may be wrong here, but what would you say? Would you encourage more people to try something like this? And
100%.
Right. But what would you say if they're very shy about, like, what's the advantage of speaking publicly? How would you say if they're very shy about doing it?
Whatever that you want is from people. It's with people. Right? The money you want to make, someone has it in their pocket. The house you want, someone's living in it. Car you want, someone's driving it. Whatever you want in life, someone has it. And once you understand this, you understand how important it is to mix with people. Because you can get things from people. And in exchange, you got to give things to people as well. So people become the core, right? Now, in order to be able to mix well with people, you got to be able to communicate. And if you communicate as a student, you'll be seen as a student. If you are able to just put yourself out there, to be seen as someone speaking in front and get the authority, be respected by the crowd and stuff, you get different things. So, in order for you to get things, you got to be able to. There's this thing that I saw online. It's very interesting. It's called How to Get Anything You Want. And the answer is very simple: ask. So then, when the quality and the technique for asking a question to someone is the same when you're on stage and you're asking a crowd. So you have the same set of skills. You're using it in different places. But when you train yourself on stage and learn the asking technique, that one is faster. So you learn that technique and then you can use that technique in all sorts of different rooms in your life.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why you need to learn public speaking. Not just to be able to speak, not just to, you don't need to speak on a stage with 1,000 people, 10,000 people. You can just speak in front of your colleagues, in front of your classes. But the thing is in our culture, we are not naturally prompted like that. Majority of us. There's this thing that we learn from our parents. A lot of times our parents say, stay low. Be humble. So that thing is what is being injected to our system since we were born, a lot of us. So now we're not talking about learning public speaking, we're talking about rewriting your DNA to be able to learn this thing. Right? But a lot of beautiful things happen on the other side of fear.
Right.
So, as I said just now, the fear of putting yourself in public and the fear of being judged is actually bigger than the fear of death. So if you are able to do that, especially for a lot of young people, right? If they're able to do that, even though they cannot be the perfect speaker just yet, I'll tell you, they will be a better version than the current version.
Just by willing to be out there and like speak.
Correct. You don't need to be super good. You just have to be willing to do something a little bit different, something uncomfortable, then you will for sure be better. And that is why public speaking.
Right. Speaking of parents, right? So you mentioned just now that obviously when your first kind of viral video blew up, your mom called you because we saw you in newspapers and all that. And you've obviously in the long term kind of picked the path that is not common for most people. Right. I imagine they might have a different view of it now, but in the early days, like, did you have to sort of contend with did they have opinions to kind of divert you to go get a job and all?
Lucky enough, I have the greatest mom on earth. My parents, they taught me a lot of different lessons. And I remember my mom told me this one thing. She said, Saya, if you want mama to teach you, I'll teach you to become a teacher. If you want me to teach you, I'll teach you to become a teacher. But if you want to learn something else, you're exposed to a different world that I see, go ahead. Just promise mama one thing, don't do bad things. I'm like, sao do. So I got the freedom of trying things, but also the opportunity to own up to own the responsibility. So my mom taught me to take extreme ownership of life. You want to be able to win, you have to accept a lot of defeats. And you have to own all of that. So this is the greatest lesson that my mom taught me, without her knowing, I suppose. And another thing that she purposely, trained us since when me and my sisters were very young was public speaking. Because my mom said, I've never seen someone who is able to speak on stage fail miserably in life. I'm like, cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you don't need to do well in the academics, but you have to be able to speak on stage. My mom's like that. So since I was 7 years old, I was trained to be on stage, but it was Mandarin language and Malay as well. So that thing, I think, it shaped a lot of good qualities of a person if you're just able to speak on stage. And I think a lot of youngsters should try it out. At least speak in front of your boss, speak in front of your colleagues with confidence, but don't just treat it as a homework and just finish it presenting already. You get it, don't get it, never mind. So this is very dumb. They're doing it from their own angle. I just want to do it myself, get the job done. Versus, I want to convey a message and make sure that the audience can get my message. So then they focus on that. When they focus on that, then naturally we'll have a good presentation. Public speaking.
Right. Yeah. And I think psychologically, if you're willing to speak publicly to a group, you are seen as having some leadership quality.
Yeah.
Psychologically, because you're speaking to a group.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. And it will help them, I suppose. And on the and I want to ask you about the introvert thing. Yeah. I know we talked about being on camera, now public speaking. But I just, obviously, you sold in the market, right? Yeah, you went in the market, you were selling there. Isn't it a very difficult thing to be like putting yourself out there trying to sell stuff in the market when as a very introverted?
Very hard, I tell you. Very hard.
How do you overcome this?
I didn't focus on that part. I focus on the experiences and what I can gain. I didn't focus on the fear. I focused on the gain. Sometimes I'm a little bit psycho sometimes. If your life is on the line and someone you love is waiting for you to be saved, but you have to have R1 million cash, how soon are you gonna go get the R1 million cash? Right. I think probably very fast you can get it. Right. So it's like, wow, the gain is here. The fear is here. So focus on the gain and then just push yourself. Do one time. Once the first one is hardest. The first shock is the hardest. And to challenge that, I didn't just shout to the crowd. I shout to the crowd with a big speaker that I brought there with a mic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I brought a big speaker to pasar malam and the mic, and I pass it to my partner. My partner is, if I'm an introvert, he's me times 10. Is even more introvert. So 2 introvert together, how? Someone has to stand up. I have to step up to do this thing, right? I'm like, it's gonna be me then. So let's just do it. And I'm like, hi.
Oh, wow. So you are on the mic.
Correct. And I was speaking Malay. Yeah. Very fun, man. Very, very fun.
Right. Yeah. Right. It sounds like, so if you focus on the outcome and try to get over yourself, in some sense, right?
Correct.
Just stop, don't overthink about how you are feeling about it, but think about what you're trying to get from this.
Yeah. Don't even think, just do. Don't even overthink. Don't even think. So I always tell you, don't even think. Right. They're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm still thinking. No need to think about, just do first, then you will know what you don't like to do, and eventually find out what you like more. Right. You think over cannot, because thinking creates more thinking. Right. Action creates clarity. So then you just take action, and then you will be a little bit clearer. Right.
Okay.
Sounds easy, lah. Sometimes I should overthink.
All right. Human nature, as Ben was right. Human nature. Right. And do you, how do you manage the overthinking?
First, acknowledge it. Tell yourself overthinking only happens to people who think. Give it to yourself. And third, also tell yourself the price, the cost. The cost of overthinking.
Right. So when you catch yourself overthinking, like you go through this mental check, these 3 things.
Yeah.
To snap out of it.
Correct. Like, oh my God. I continue to think. The world doesn't change out. The world doesn't stop for me out. Clock's ticking. Yeah. I can spend as much time as I want to just think and not do anything, and I will still be here. Right. The same story is, let's just say, I ask you to go fishing and you don't know how to fish. And there's another question, A and B. A, I don't know how to fish. So A went to watch YouTube videos how to fish, and then buy course how to fish, go and learn from seafood how to fish and all. B, cool. I just take the fishing rod, just try to fish. Which person do you think learn faster?
Right.
I think B learns
B,
faster,
of course.
because of practicality.
That's right.
You try it and you know it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't need to learn more to do something. Right? And sometimes when you learn too much, you actually feel scared on it. To want to take your first step. So don't just put yourself into the sometimes we say, the conscious delusional state or intentional delusional state, where you know that you don't know enough and you just don't allow yourself to know that much just yet, but you try first.
All right.
As long as it doesn't take your life, it's worth trying, ma. Like, I want to learn coding, so you go and learn all the code. No need, just try to vibe code something out, and then you will understand all the how this link to this link to this. You understand all the correlation between things. Huh? So just go and do the action first. Right? You can learn how to do 1 push-up from 10 hours of videos, but try or look at someone doing push-up in front of you. And try doing push-up, then you will know the feeling, then you know how to improve it.
So focus on the action, be more action-oriented.
Correct.
Spend less time just always thinking about the doing, and just do it.
Correct.
Basically,
right. It is scary, but you wanted to win, so welcome to the game.
And you sort of have to learn to trust yourself that you'll be able to figure it out. I guess maybe that's where sometimes people tend to feel safer, keep on studying the theory, and thinking that if I know more theory, then when I do it, I'll be better. Yeah. But as you said, the more theory you learn, which is, I find that quite interesting, it may even prevent you from doing that, because now it becomes this huge expectation already. The more you learn without acting.
The more you learn, the more you realize that there's a lot of things that you don't know. And it becomes very scary. Have to have a little bit of blind faith sometimes. Especially for young people, the biggest advantage they have is time.
Right.
You can afford to fail compared to someone who's older than you. So take advantage of that.
Perfect. And then I want to talk about your popularity on social media a little bit, right? So obviously when you first went viral and obviously many more people started recognizing you and all that, how did you feel about that moment? Because sometimes you were also doing content, but it's kind of happening, right? How do you feel about that then, and how do you feel about it now?
Very different. You will have the sense of culture shock when you first got that amount of attention, right? So when I first hit 10k followers, I remember when I was in Kuala Kangsar, I went up to Mama also. I'm like, wow, the whole world is noticing me. Actually, no one noticed me. No one even recognized me. But I was like, it's in my head, I'm like, so that was very funny. Then on social media, when you get a lot of this traction, right, there's a lot of different speeches, comments coming in. It will kind of effed up your mind a little bit.
How do you manage that?
Have a big heart, I think. You have to be okay with it, because everything is yin and yang. You want it, ma. Then be willing to accept the dark side, the bad side of it also. Because you want that, ma. You want the girlfriend, accept the flaws. You want that boyfriend, you accept the flaws. You want the job, you want the growth, accept the stress. I want the fame last time, right? I wanted the fame. Then I expect people to come to me with different opinions. That was that lah. Then after that, really, when I grew out, more followers, and I was walking on the street, and I realized nobody even recognized me, so it doesn't matter.
How do you? I mean, at that one, you said 1.4 million right now collective followers. Then, how do you stay humble? Knowing that obviously, I think if you walk down the street, people would recognize you now. So, especially among is it mostly the youth maybe that follow you? So you enter a very youth concentrated place, most probably they will recognize.
Yeah, you can say that. I think so too. Right. I think human to human mutual respect. With a certain amount of followers, doesn't mean you're better than anyone. It just means that you have a power to do something.
Right.
And you can either use the power properly or misuse the power, abuse the power. So do something good. I always say do something good. Make sure that when you talk to a person, you spend your few minutes talking to a person. Make sure, both of you walk out of the conversation feeling that the conversation was meaningful. Then just don't hurt anyone. Just try to help more people.
Right.
Yeah. It's easy to fall into a trap where you think you have a lot of followers and you're someone else. Yeah. But Instagram can just snap a finger and vanish all the algorithm, and the next day you're gone. So you're no different than anyone. Right. Why even think so? Right. When you have creative, you're in Spider-Man. Creative power. So you have more responsibility to make sure that the content that you make doesn't, if the content that you make don't impact people, at least don't mislead people to something negative. So that's the line that I draw.
As
I think there's no point trying to just make yourself big and make other people feel small. Right. Why do? Right. Only people who feel small themselves, they want to try to be big and make other people feel small.
Do you feel the pressure to keep staying relevant? Because the thing I find about, obviously as a company, we also post a lot of stuff like online and social media and all that. And from our experience, it fluctuates. Like some things do better, some things do worse, and especially for yourself, where you have your personal brand attached to your following. Do you feel that pressure to constantly when you post something, do you obsess over the engagement numbers and you feel I need to keep doing better?
I used to. I'll tell you the truth. every creator that when they first get some attention, they will focus on that. Because once you get that, you want more. Right? Like a kid trying ice cream for the first time. They want the second bite. They want the third. They want to finish the whole thing. But you, like right now, right? If you're not an ice cream lover, you know this is ice cream. But yeah, it's ice cream. So different states like that, I think different states that we have to go through when it comes to getting attention on social media. Because again, if you attach relevancy to followers and stuff closely, then you'll feel pressured. I'd rather have 1,000 raving fans than 1 billion followers.
Right.
Yeah. So keeping myself relevant isn't a pressure. I think it's more of a self-obligation because I chose the path. Right. You choose one ma, you own some do lo. Right. That's the thinking that I have for myself. Like I chose one ma, then I do that. And very importantly along the process, I believe this one thing as well, very, very important, is to have fun. If you don't find it fun, it's very hard for you to continue doing something. Have fun.
Right. How do you manage and again, I imagine this is going to be a natural human emotion. How do you manage yourself? Because it's your face there in the piece of content, and something doesn't perform well, or you get a lot of negativity, which I'm sure it might happen sometimes.
All the time.
Oh, right. Okay. How do you kind of manage your own natural response to?
I just don't respond.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So in layman terms, I just don't give a F. No need. Why? The person who commented on your video, you know how many videos they have to scroll in a day? They just so happen at the time, listen to one line that you say and they didn't agree, they disagree with that one line, and then they just, because they have time, maybe they're doing something and it's not important, they just type a hate comment so easily, and then they just sent it, and then they scroll the next one. They forget it really one. You remember only. So I also forget lah. You forget, I also forget. So like you throw me rubbish, I throw the rubbish dump ma, the rubbish bin ma. You throw me rubbish, I put in pocket man, if possible ma. So you throw me rubbish, I throw away. No?
Oh, I love that analogy.
Right. For real. Yeah.
You're right.
You have to. It's repetition. The truth is, it's easier. The theory is easy, but it's repetition until it becomes a new muscle memory. Like going to the gym. The first time you do dumbbell press is probably very hard, but the more you do it, the more you think it's, the more you feel that it's easy, and you just kind of become a muscle memory. Right. You don't need to think in order to do that. Right. Yeah, like reading comment is one thing, it's all. You gotta learn how to detach, man. Else you're gonna die inside the comment. So, this is what I always tell some of the creator friends, the new creator friends, right? They're very aspiring people, but then they struggle with this one thing. It's like, how do I deal with hate speech? Don't deal with it. Why you deal with it? You have so many more important things in life that you want to do. Why you want to spend your time and energy to this one thing? Right. That they already forgot. Right? A hate speech, I like to link it to an analogy. A hate speech or a hate comment is like someone on the street horning you. They horn you, they forgot already, But you're like, right. So why? Never mind, I horn back. Yeah. But on the internet, it's not all. When you want to, give a response, then you have to, you just decided to put more energy into something that's not worth a return. Then, right? This one hate speech. You reply this one, reply this one, reply this one, reply this one, reply. Next thing you know, 7 hours gone. You could have done more things in this 7 hours, What about all the people that are watching, they're liking, they're saving your videos and your content? What about them? We focus on it was this one effer that just probably had a bad day and try to ruin yours. Why do you open access? Don't open access, just don't deal with it. That's my personal theory, yeah. And it's been working pretty well.
That's good. I mean, you also make a very good point. Sometimes there's a natural tendency to focus on a small minority of negativity and forget that there's so many positive type of engagement. I mean, and I'm going beyond content here, just in life in general. When, obviously and I'm sure everyone has problems and issues with their life. And people tend to focus so much on what's going wrong. And then they kind of forget, right, that maybe 70, 80% of the stuff in your life is okay. Right? And then it's important not to forget that and be so obsessed by the 20% that's like not going so well.
Yeah.
Right.
The biggest lesson from this thing, I learned it from my business partner. Very, very big impact to my life. He always asks these 2 words. When you don't know what to do, just ask yourself, or when you have done something, just ask yourself this thing. What's next? That one is what you can focus on. It's not what happened. So then the hey comment coming already. Okay, what's next? Then suddenly you see yourself like the video game in front of you got 2 choices on. Ding, ding. This one, reply. Ding, ding. Just go away. Faster choose this one. So always choose this one. What's next? Next thing already. Don't dwell on this thing already.
I love the video. I'm gonna try that.
Red color was blue color.
I wanna like imagine myself. When we I think when we did some research on what you've been doing, you currently hosting something with Alliance Bank, is it?
I hosted.
You hosted, yeah. Right. Is this like it's a show, is it, right? Ringgit My Way.
Correct.
Right. And what's the topic? It was about managing money and on
It's all finance.
finance.
Yeah, managing money, credit cards, personal spending, saving, family expenses, costs and stuff. Anything is relevant to money for an individual,
Right.
for different generations.
Right.
I find it very, very meaningful to be able to raise awareness to, especially young people. Because money is not something that's being taught in our education very much, right? But it's something that we need to deal with every day. Same, eh? So, do you have to self-learn
Right.
the relationship with money?
Right. Do you have any for any young Malaysian listening to this, do you have any harsh truth you want to share with them about managing money in your youth?
If you don't know what you want to do with money, save the money. Yeah. You don't have a lot of money, you want to invest. Invest with action and time. There's 3 biggest currency, money, time, energy. Invest the other 2. When you're young, you don't have a lot of money, invest your energy and time to do something better. Don't know what to do, don't know who to meet, never mind, go to gym first. That's what I call build capacity. When you don't know what to do, you have to build capacity. Because opportunities appear the same to everyone. But people who have a capacity can recognize them and capitalize them. So when you cannot recognize and capitalize on an opportunity, meaning you don't have enough capacity just yet, so what do? You build capacity. Alright? Go in shape. Learn how to speak. Watch some good things. Save money. Don't spend too much on food. Don't spend too much on coffee. You have to have 子彈one, in order for you to take opportunity. Rest well so that you build capacity on your body, that you can tahan more stress, because your body is a reflection of your mental discipline as well. Yeah. Then you can tahan a bit more. There's people with better shape, they take care of their own appearance, generally has higher chances of getting opportunity compared to a person that don't take care of their own appearance. Right? So take care of your appearance. Very direct. Don't spend too much money, so you have money left. When there's an opportunity that require capital, you have more than other people. Simple as that. Right? Body gives you energy. You need energy to do more things. Rest. Don't doom scroll at 3 a.m. Just sleep. It's 3 a.m. How hard it is. Just put on the phone and sleep. Right? You know you should sleep. But you don't. And that's a choice you made unconsciously. And every choice that you made has a price to pay. Pay the price later.
Right.
Pay the price of pain, sleep. That, or pay the price later. The next day, fine, wake up. Everything is as a price to pay. Be sure you choose the better one for yourself. It's as simple as that.
And you raise an important point also in that, like, most people kind of know what they need to do, just whether they are willing to pay the price of doing it or not. Right? Like say if you wanted to save money or you wanted to be physically healthier, that it's not, a lot of it's not rocket science, just whether you want to actually do it or not. And
it's a choice whether you notice it or not. even my team was also, a lot of times ask me questions about things like this in life. The choices that you make consciously, unconsciously. A person has 50,000 thoughts in their head every single day. With that said, you have to do 20, 30,000 small decisions every single day. Even a decision that I made, there's 3 water bottles. I chose this one to pick up. I just made a minor decision. So there's a lot of decision that you make. Even when you're driving, you're changing lanes. When to change a lane also, you're making a decision. So your life is an outcome of your decision. And you have to be very clear that what you're not changing, you are choosing. So, people complaining about life, right? It's okay. Last time I will advise them. I will, give my advice before they even ask for things. Actually, a lot of times, they just want me to listen to it with no judgment. But then I tend to be the problem solver for a lot of people. That's why they, time pass and I realize that some people don't like to talk to me. Because they don't want advice, but I give advice. Shit. Okay, cool. So I just let them. If they can complain, meaning not painful enough. If it's painful enough, change already, don't need to complain. And they hold the power to change or continue to let them. So let them. All I can do is just, I hear you. You want to hear my opinion? No? Okay, no, man.
Because I just had this conversation with someone the other day in that is that people can change. The problem is that not enough want to change. Right. And to change that, you have to really want it. And one of the things that make people change is like, yes, there's a pain. There's something that you cannot tahan. You need to get rid of it, and then you force yourself to change it.
Yeah, easier. Pain, higher percentage. Another side is pleasure. People, more often than not, they don't change for pleasure, and they change for
because to avoid the pain.
Yeah. It's either you want to go towards desire, you want to go towards pleasure, so you take certain action, or you want to be away, run away from pain. Running away from pain is more effective in human psychology. That's why in selling, in marketing, fear-based marketing works very effectively.
Yes. And I read this quote the other day. It's like people usually end up doing what they yes. I'm butchering this, but something along the lines of people do things that to avoid pain or fear rather than what they actually want. Something along those lines.
Yeah, right.
So they are avoiding what they don't want more than doing what they want. Something like right.
And because of that, there's this theory that's being more commonly spreaded in the society, especially on the internet, is the cost theory, meaning what's the cost of not doing something now? Because when you're not doing something, you're actually doing something. So what's the cost of not taking action? Then you have to associate it with something that's very visible to you. For example, 40 years later or 20 years later, you're going to be the same person doing the same thing, making the same amount of money with higher inflation and getting the same amount of respect, maybe lesser. Do you want that life? But you're just older. You're 20 years older, but you're doing the same thing. Don't then do something about it?
Yeah.
But what do I do? Something that is different.
Simple, ma. That. No, it's accurate. So a lot of people avoid change because they're just thinking in the moment. But if you look a little bit further, if everything was the same, would you be happy? Right? Is that what you wanted?
The costs. So when you think of the cost of not doing it, the opportunity cost, maybe painful and maybe do.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I've got 3 last questions for you, Bryan. First one is the path that you're walking now is obviously one that's rarely walked. There's no manual for it, right? Basically, and especially in the early days, I think right now you have achieved like some level of success. On the early days as you were doing it, did self-doubt have crept in? How do you manage it? And do you still have that today? Yeah.
1000% yes. It's something that we have to deal with every single day. Self-doubt is just like the feeling of not wanting to get out of bed in the morning. It comes in every day, but you still want to get out, but you still get out. But there's some days you sleep in, right? So it's very normal. You cannot eliminate it, but one thing that I learned is to be able to stay with it for peacefully. Right? Acknowledge that self-doubt is something that will come in naturally as a person. You will doubt yourself. But what happens when you doubt yourself? There is a muscle memory that you can build. So when I was, in different stages, I have different doubts on myself. And majority of the time, the doubts come from not having enough experience on certain things or certain subject. So when you don't have certain experience in certain subjects, you will doubt yourself. And hence, you have to believe or trust yourself that you can do certain things. Like when we first started our business, there's a lot of doubts. How do we set this up? How do we get clients? How do you hire a team? After hiring a team, how do we maintain a team? How do we make sure that the team grow and learn and together with us and and how do we make sure that the client get results? So there was a lot of things that we were not experienced in. And the only way to reduce self-doubt is by injecting more confidence. And how do we inject confidence? Confidence comes from social proof and comes from competence. Social proof means the thing that you have done. So how do you know when you have confidence and when you have not? When people say, I trust myself, I'm not very confident. But a person come to you and say, I know I can do it. I don't need to trust that I can do it. I know I can do it. That is confidence. And how do you know you can do it? You must have done it so many times before to know this time you also can do it, correct? So this is the key. So if you don't have this, of course, no self-confidence, ma. Then no self-confidence, how to eliminate doubt, ne? Cannot, ma. Just replace self-doubt with self-confidence, and again, reps and action.
And to actually have proof that you can do it, in some sense, just go and do it.
Correct.
Right.
As long as you gotta do it enough,
Right. Yeah.
even though you don't succeed just yet, but compiling experience will make you you get more information about this. At least the next time you know better and you know what you shouldn't do. Because when you know a lot of things that you shouldn't do, and eventually you're gonna find the one that you probably should do. So it's the theory is very simple. That's how I don't know how I learn it. It's just something that when I practice it, I realize that it's effective for my decision making and it's effective to move forward. And I cannot just give it to myself. Because a lot of times when I have self-doubts and I don't have experience, what do? I learn. And when I learn, I feel very frustrated as well that I couldn't eliminate the self-doubt. That's just for now. I also feel very frustrated. So another thing that I did on top of this, and I think a lot of people will find value in this as well, is finding the right circle, having the right proximity. Having the right people to give you a lovely slap sometimes is the fastest way to get out of self-doubt. Right? Be with the right people, learn the right thing, do the right thing. Be so busy doing it because you know it's something that you want to and will be able to impact your life that you have no time to doubt yourself. Right. So if I cannot solve it myself, I faster go out there and seek for help already. Proximity, come. I'm having this in my mind. Teach me something you know. You walk the path. Share with me something that I can learn. I open my heart. I open my arm to learn this. Please teach me. And then teach. Absorb already. Okay. I can be better already. Right. It's very important, and the circle is very important because you are the product of your environment.
Though it's true, and I think it was very true. I think most people overestimate their ability to keep their thoughts, as in like to control how they think and feel about things, and they don't underestimate how their environment actually shapes how they are behaving.
100%. Spot on. 100%.
Okay. Second last question. Is there anything that you felt, now that you run a business for a while, what's the one thing that kind of turned out to be wrong from your early belief of running a business?
I used to have this belief that every member in my team, the whole team, will have the same passion as me on the business. Turned out to be wrong. I used to think the team served me. Actually, I serve the team. And if I don't teach them things, I'm doing a disservice as a leader. So running this business, because one of the things that we need to do is to hire more talents to join the team. Talents means our team, right? A lot of managers, a lot of executors, planner. And the next thing, once I started this business, the next thing that I needed to learn along the way was how to be a better leader. I effed up a lot of time. I screwed up being a leader a lot of time in this 2 years time, one past year's time, running this creative agency. There are a lot of good people left. And I have to eat that in order for me to not repeat that again. So one thing that I thought, one thing that I truly learned was, people don't have the same passion as you because they didn't build the thing. You build it, you build it. Just accept it as a founder. You build the thing, and don't expect them to have the same passion as the thing. And another thing that I learned as well is if you pay peanuts, you're gonna attract monkeys. Right. Don't just talk dreams, talk money as well. There's some harsh lessons that I learned. Right. I'm a big believer of giving first and then getting. So, early days I did a lot of free work for my previous clients and stuff. I did a lot of free training and all just to get experience. But people come here to work, right? I hire the team, they come in to work. Do I expect them to work for free? It's impossible, man. If you're my biological brother or sister, maybe can, right? I hire you then. And it's very unfair if you pay peanuts and you want to attract human, you attract monkeys. Right. Yeah. So this is some good lessons that I learned along the way.
And what's and the last question, right? So what's message you want to leave to like a young Malaysian in their 20s? And the 20s is a very important time for anyone's career. And whether they're trying to make their first sale, trying to do well in marketing and creative, they're trying all kinds of stuff, but it's hard, right? It's so difficult to predict the future. There's a lot of self-doubt, and they are hoping that their time will come. I mean, what message would you give to them?
You will never win a lottery if you don't buy one. But if you buy more, you have a higher chance to win one. Layman translation: put in the reps, put in the volume, and put in the hard work, that it makes no sense to be unsuccessful. And to follow up with that, this is one thing that I learned from my mentor. He said this one thing I totally agree. Ordinary things done consistently create extraordinary results. So don't look down on the small actions and the small improvements that you make every single day. Don't trust the process. Trust the person who's going through the process. That's you. You got this.
Awesome. That's a nice way to wrap up this episode. Right. Awesome. Thank you, Bryan, for coming. Yes, and I am very inspired by your story, and you are fairly wise beyond your years. Right. Yeah. So I hope to see your journey continue to evolve. So thanks again. Thank you very much. Thanks, Rush. Thank you. All right, thanks for hanging out with us and getting to the end of the episode. If you like this, follow us or hit the subscribe button. It will help us bring on more amazing guests and makes the whole show better for you. So thanks again and see you in the next one.